Okay, so we're going to do 72 times 16. First, I'm going to set the 16 all the way on the left edge of the abacus. Okay, so I'm setting the 1 in the 13th column, and then the 6 right next to it in the 12th column. Okay. And now we're going to set our 72. So to know where to set the 72, we're going to have to point off one column at a time from the right edge of the abacus as we repeat the problem, okay? So starting with my pointer finger on the first column from the right edge of the abacus, I'm going to say 7, move one column to the left, 2, move one more column to the left as I say times, one more column to the left, 16 or 1, and one more column to the left, 6. So my finger is now on the 5th column from the right edge of the abacus, also known as the 10,000s column, okay? So that's where I'm going to start setting the 72. So I'm going to set a 7 in that column that my pointer is on, and then move one column to the right of that, and set my 2, 72. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to do is, for me, I like to use my pointer finger and starting by touching the second digit in 72 and the first digit in 16, okay? So we're going to multiply the second digit in 72 times the first digit in 16. So that's 2 times 1. And we know that 2 times 1 is 2, but when we're setting single digit numbers on the abacus, we're going to say 0, 2. So as we say 0, 2, we're going to move one column to the right of that 2 of 72, all right? So that's 0, one more column to the right, and say 2, and we're going to set the 2 beads in that column. And that should be the second column from the right edge of the abacus, or the tens column. Okay, so we know that 1 times 2 is 0, 2. We just set that 2 there, and we're going to keep our pointer on that tens column, the second column that we just set the 2 beads in, because that's the column we're going to add our next factor to, okay? So now with our left pointer, we can move to the second digit in 16, that's the 6. We have to multiply that now by the 2 of 72. So 6 times 2 is 12, as we already know. So to add 12, we're going to start right where we are, right where our pointer is, on those 2 beads in the second column from the right. And we're going to add 1. That's the 1 of 12. And then move one more column to the right and add the 2. So right now in our abacus, we have the 32. As part of our partial product, the 3 is in the second column from the right, and the 2 is in the first column, okay, 32. So we finished multiplying the 2 of 72 times both numbers in 16, or both digits. So let's clear that 2, we finished multiplying that. Now we're going to repeat the same process with the first digit of 72, which is 7. Okay, so we're going to look at the first digit in 16, and that's 1. Let's multiply that by 7. 1 times 7 we know is 7, so we're going to point off one column to the right as we say 0, then go one more column to the right and add 7 to that column. Look at that, we're on the third column from the right edge of the abacus, and there are 0 beads touching the counting bar, so that's easy. We're just going to push down a 5 bead and push up to 1 beads, and that's the number 7. Okay, keeping my finger there on that 7 that I just set. In the third column from the right, I'm going to move my left finger to the second digit of 16, and that's a 6. And I know I'm going to multiply that 6 times the 7 of 72, right? If you forget what number you're multiplying on the right side, you can just kind of bring your left finger over and check it, okay? Which is what I just did. I just verify that, yes, I'm multiplying 6 of the 16 times 7, okay? So 6 times 7 is 42. So I'm going to add the 4 of 42 to the column that I left off on, which is that third column from the right where the number 7 is currently. So let me go ahead and add 42. So adding the 4 to that column. 1, 2. So we pushed up the last 2 1 beads. We have to move to the left as we pushed up one more bead and count 3. Go back to the right, clear all those beads, and then push up one more bead as we say 4. Okay, so right now we have a 1 bead in the third column from the right, or the hundreds column. And then we move one column to the right of that to set the 2 of 42. Okay, so push up that 1 bead that's left there. That's 1. Push down the 5 bead as we count 2. And then of course we know we have to clear all the 4 1 beads whenever we push that 5 bead down. And now we have a 5 in the second column from the right. So right now we finished multiplying the 7 times both digits in 16, so we can clear that 7. And everything we have left now on the right edge of the abacus is our product or our answer, okay? So in this case, we have 1 in the thousands column, 1 in the hundreds column, 5 in the tens, and a 2 in the ones. So that's 1,152. So 72 times 16 is 1,152.